whether you are able to say yes, no, depending upon that. I have a pre-survey also. Since a crowd is small, I thought I can just put it in the chat. Let it be an interactive session so that we will be able to check it up, right? Once again. Where is my chat? Yeah. Chat is hidden. Chat is not enabled? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. It is chat is there.
There. Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, you are located?
Chat is there, but when I just open it, somewhere.
Your PPT is displaying nicely, ma'am.
Yeah,
no problem with that.
Okay.
Amma. Madam. போடுங்க மறுபடியும் வெளியே போயிட்டு மறுபடியும் உள்ளாங்க இப்போ
Okay, yeah, I got it. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. Fine. Yes. Oh, I have the chat now.
Ma'am, screen is small, ma'am. Now you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before that, I want to just get a message from all of you.
Okay.
Right. Whether you are aware of OER. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So, are you aware of OER? Okay. My first question. And if so, what OER repository you refer? Okay. What are the OER repositories? Okay. I want at least one of you, few people to answer this question. Okay, morning, you're all settling down. I know that. Right. Because we are all talking in vacuum. We do not know what is happening on the other side. So I would like to know. Okay. Right, let me start. Assuming that most of you are not aware of OER, maybe few people are aware of OER. Okay, so first of all, what is Open Education Resources, right? And before going in, before this, why I should know about OER, that is Open Education Resources. If you look the scenario, now we are all teaching online, okay? And now the new normal has come, everybody is going back to the office, then students are coming to the institutes, right? In that cases, we will be continuing this teaching face-to-face as well as online, okay? Even if it is face-to-face, okay, then because we are our institution, our programs are all accredited, maybe to NAAC or NBA, okay? And we all follow this outcome-based education. What is the outcome of the learning and teaching process? Fine. In that cases, here in the present scenario, that the learning has to cater to all type of learners, and all type of learners should be taken care, whether they are fast learners or slow learners, weaker students or brighter students, or let us say, for example, there may be different learning styles, visual learners, auditory learner, kinesthetic learner. So there are different types of learners and every learner is unique, okay? In that sense, So to cater to all type of learning, we have to produce material or the learning resources which cater to all type of learners. Fine. Let us say in your class, when you're teaching, you will be using the chalk and talk method and the face-to-face interaction and all those things. That may not be sufficient for the students to learn in depth. Okay. In that cases, maybe there are some slow learners also. In that cases, how will you accommodate those type of learners? So that is one. And second thing is, they are multimodal learners. They are multimodal learners. Okay, they are multimodal learners means they learn from variety of sources, which gives stimulus to various senses, visual, auditory, doing, and all those things. Fine. Then the cost. And another one thing is why OER is, see, the cost of education is very, very expensive. And if you look into the gross enrollment ratio of our country, average it is 26%. That means only 1 in 4 goes in for the higher education. So only 1 in 4 goes for the higher education, and others are not able to proceed further in their higher education, mainly because of the high cost for the education. They want to earn, so they go for job. They don't pursue the higher studies. Okay, after their schooling, they drop out and they go for jobs. Okay, they don't go for higher education. Why? Because one of the reason is it is very expensive. The tuition fee, the book fees, the books, the cost of the books are all expensive. Okay, in that case, how OER can do? So if that books or any material, learning material, research material, if it is available free of cost, then there will be the cost of education can be reduced to some extent. Okay, the cost of education can be reduced to some extent, and the availability and all type of learners will also be catered using this OER. Okay, so there are many factors. I'm just telling the 2 factors, main factors. Okay, one is the cost reduction, another one is accessibility by everyone. Everyone can access all type of material. Only that, see, if you see in our country, there is lot of pressure to join in very good institutions. Okay, your Sairam institution is one of the, it comes in the NIRF, okay, ranking. So they go for IITs, then NITs, and there are so many other institutions, higher education institutions, which comes in the higher ranking. So many students are there. How everybody can go into it? The top people can, or whoever the privileged one can go, either by their knowledge or by the monetary thing. They can go to few institutions. But see, some people who cannot afford to that cannot be denied of the resources. Okay, so in that cases also this OER is playing a vital role. So what is it? First of all, it is any education resources which is used for teaching, learning, and research that resides in public domain or have been released under an intellectual property license that permits their free use and repurposing by others. That means any education resources, okay, that resides in public domain, or it has to be released under some intellectual property license or open license, which permits free use. You can repurpose. Say there may be a very good material. That material, I want to use it in my teaching learning process. Yes, of course, you can use it, provided it is an open license. 1 second. Just okay, sorry. So there may be like that. Okay, so this is the definition of it. What is it? It can be a full course, it can be a course material, it can be a module, it can be a textbook, it can be a streaming videos, or software or any other tools, materials or techniques that used to support access to knowledge. Okay. So the William and this is the definition given by William and Flora Heward Foundation. Okay. So what is it? The UNESCO in 2002, they also gave the same similar type of definition. So they are teaching, learning and research material in any medium. Mostly it is digital. Okay, it can be non-digital also, but predominantly by native it is digital because we are all able to share the digital resources that resides in public domain or released under an open license that permits no cost access, use, adaptation and redistribution by others with no or limited restriction. What is it? We have to know. OER forms a part of open solution along with the other things. So you might be knowing what is FOSS, that is free and open source software. Then you know about open data, open access, open science, open hardware. There are so many open philosophy. Under this big philosophy using the crowdsourcing platform, this OER is one among them, right? Which gives a part of the solution for teaching learning process. Fine. So this is the same thing, right? Okay, there are a lot of consortium, endowments, government agencies, governments, all these people promote this OER in teaching learning. First promote to create it, use it, adapt it, that is first adopt it and then adapt it. Okay, for all these things, the OER, all around the world, lot of consortium, endowments are all I can say the financial aids are there to promote this OER. Okay, this is a symbol by UNESCO, Open Education Resources. You have OCW consortium, then many things, OER Africa, then NROER, that is National Repository of Open Educational Resources by our government. Like that, there are many people working on it, right? So what is it? You know that it is an education material discoverable online and openly licensed, where you can use it, you can share it, you can improve on it, and you can also redistribute it. Okay, so when you want to improve or when you want to redistribute, you have to look into the license, the type of license, whether you have the rights to adapt it, repurpose it, then improve it, or let us say modify it in very simple term. And again, whether you are able to share it. Okay, so this is called the OER. Fine. Now I will ask you a question. Fine. So you can unmute and you can answer this. Let us say you're taking a photograph. Okay, and then you're posting it on the internet. Fine. Or you are using some social media or Facebook or whatever it is. You're posting it on that, right? In that case, who will be who is the owner of that work, or the photograph or image or whatever it is, presentation, whatever it is. Okay, whenever you upload anything on the net or social media, who owns it? Who has the copyright? Yes. Arun Kumar Ramu says yes. Okay, for the previous question, very good. Okay, now my second question is, see, I'm just taking a selfie, putting it in a Facebook. Okay, now who has a copyright for that? Or I'm taking a picture of my lab or my whatever it may be. Okay, I'm just uploading in some Flickr or some repositories, okay, which is available online or Medium or YouTube or something like that. Who has the copyright? Yes. What about Ramu? You can tell. Then Arun Kumar. Anybody? Just you can chat it. You can use a chat and tell me. Otherwise, you can also unmute and say, right? So should I call by name? If you know, you can say, right? What is it so silent this time? Who has the copyright? Am I audible? Am I audible? Suddenly I have a doubt. Am I audible? Am I talking to the participants? My dear participants? You know, or do you know it? Like, see, if you know, you can say, who has the copyright? Okay. So I have to talk in vacuum. Right. What is Willis 5 hours of openness? So if you see Willis 5, this is David Willis who has given this 5 hours of openness. One is the retain, reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute. What does it mean? Retain is make, own, control copies of the content. You can download it, you can duplicate it, you can store, and you can manage. Okay, reuse is the right to use the content in wide varieties of ways. That is, you can use it in the class, you can use it in a study group, or on a website, or in a video. Let us say you might be learning many things from NPTEL. Okay, so like Swayam or any other MOOC courses. Okay, our Swayam MOOCs are available. Lot of videos, lot of resources are available. In that case, okay, in that case, lot of when you have all the rights to use it in your classroom. You have all the rights to use it in your study group or even in the videos. Okay, so that is called reuse. Revise is what? Let us say you have a very wonderful video with all animation, with all graphics, but it is in a foreign professor, let us say an American professor, has spoken on it. Maybe but that will not be very apt to my local participants. I might like to give it in English, in my own English, or I might like to give it in my regional language. In that cases, do I have the rights to do it? Yes, if it is open license and if the license is permitting us to do that, you have all the rights to adapt. Adapt means you can revise it, modify it, right? You can give your own voice over it, keeping the video as it is, okay? But you have to give the credits, right? Like that is called the revise, translate the content into another language. The next one is a remix. Remix is the right to combine the original or revised content with the open content to create something new. So you can incorporate the content into a mashup. See, you have your own content and you have seen some very beautiful, like let us say some center of excellence, they are giving some wonderful material. You will make use of it, right? And you have your own thing. So just put it everything together and you create a remix of it and then you produce it, right? So that is called remixing. Then the redistributing is the right to share copies to the original content, your revisions or your remix with others. So you have all the rights. You can give the copy to your friends, to your students, to your group. That is called redistribute. So these are the Willis 5s are of openness. Okay, fine. See, whenever I am, what is OER and what is our ordinary, the way of traditional way of sharing our teaching material. See, as an educator, like let us say you're an educator, we are all, why we create so many learning activities or resources. Okay, it can be anything, right? And then we share it with our students and with our own faculty group. Okay, so this is the traditional way of sharing your teaching material. But when you want this learning activity to be designated as OER, that is Open Educational Resources, then what should you do? First of all, in this learning activity or resources, if you are using somebody else content, okay, or if it is having copyright issues, first clear the copyright issues. Then you have to format for the web and accessibility for reuse. And then you have to put additional descriptive metadata and publish in the repositories or on any web. There are so many OER repositories. You can upload those content. Not only your own students and faculty sees, it can be available to other faculties, students, and institutions. So anyone in the world can now discover and reuse if you designate this learning activity as an OER. Okay, so that is what. So what has enabled OER is, first thing is change in policy. So everything, see why we should give open, like why it should be open, why it should be accessible to accessible by everyone, and it should be free. Because see, this is for public good and for fair use. First of all, you have to understand it is not for maybe even you can have some commercial use also, but it should be for good purpose, okay, for public good and for fair use, that you are using the you are promoting this openness, right? And second thing is it promotes innovation. Okay, lot of creative ideas will come if the information is open. See, if it is not accessible by everyone, how can lot of research, lot of innovation, lot of apps, now if you see our younger generation, there are so many applications they develop for each and every problems or whatever it may be, starting from agriculture, industry, day-to-day life. Like they just put so many apps they develop with all those things, with cloud technology, IoT, AI, isn't it? Because many of the things are open, even our Ola, Swiggy, and all these things, so they are all using this Google Maps. The Google Map is open. Anybody can use it. If Google is going to charge you for the maps, then that charge will be taken. See, for our comfort, now we are marching towards the society 5.0. Okay, in society 5.0, the goodness of our life should be comfortable, our life should be happy, as well as we have to use that technology. We should not bother our natural resources. In that cases, all these things, so it is going to give way to this one. Okay, so one thing is, it should, if the data, if the resources, learning resources or education resources are open, lot of innovation will come. That is what my point I emphasize. Another one is, it is possible nowadays. Previously, it was not possible. How do you share it, right? That is going to call, if I go in, so it was a lot of things was not shared. Because of this internet, we are able to share so many things. So the cloud computing, so many photos, videos, or this thing, books, everything we upload, we download, all those things we do it, right? So technically it is possible. And legally, yes, it is alternative to the copyright license. This is the copyleft movement, or you can call it as open license or copyright things. And then the next is the financial model. What is financial model? See, let us say, I say, okay, we are giving it free for all the people to use it. Then who's going to sponsor us? Okay, who's going to create? See, there are so many endowments, like let us say, for example, now I'll go to this one. There are so many financial models like donor funding, marketing, budgeting, commission. So like, let us say Hewlett Foundation, Open University, MIT, Amazon, then endowment. Like I have just named very few, very old one. There are so many people who go for public good. Even the countries have a good country index. All this, if you are going to help your own people and your neighboring people, the country index, good country index also raises. Okay, so that is also thing. So we serve to our whole world, isn't it? Like, yeah. Then the membership like OCWC, Sakai Consortium, then government like US, UK, then our MHRD, now it is MOE, that is Ministry of Education, under NME ICT. You could have heard, you are using and you know about it. Lot of digital initiatives have been done, and it is all due to this one. Okay, so so this has enabled this OER. So I said there are a lot of change in philosophy towards open movement. Okay, OER is one among them. The open movement, all these things we have already seen. I'll come to this, okay, or I'll just have a thing. See, the predecessor of MOOC is OER, okay. So the OER started in 2000, 2001, 2, like that. So you had the Open University, you had this open source software, open content, and OCW, that is MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, OCW. Okay, all these people started around in 2002, 2001, 2, like that, right? All these things. But it was here and there, bits and pieces all over the internet. But the awareness of that was not available for the people to use it because of many reasons. One, all the developed countries were having the internet access, and awareness was there, right? And after that, in 2008 and 10, lot of research and lot of things, development has come on MOOCs. That is massive open online courses. Massive is unlimited. Okay, very huge number. Okay, so number of participants is unlimited, right? It is huge. It can be scalable. You can provision in, provision out according to the number of registrants, and it is open. The second O stands for open. Open means it is open to all. Everyone can access it, irrespective of age, gender, region, religion, even the discipline. See here, if I take EEE, if I want to learn some subject in mechanical or in music, I cannot do it. I don't have an elective also to select it. But here I can, whatever I may be, if I know to read and write, then I can choose my own passion for learning. I can learn music composition. I can learn Python programming. I can learn anything, right? Whatever I require. So that is openness. Right? It can no age, no barrier, any nothing. And this is purely online, and it is a course. So all these things came after this OER. Okay, and then if you see later in 2011, you can see the Stanford University gave the first MOOC, which is on AI, that is artificial intelligence, which drew around 100,000 people. Okay, and then you could have heard about all these things like Coursera, edX, okay, Udacity, Udemy, FutureLearn. There are many. I have just put it as a box so that there are so many MOOC providers. Okay, including now in 2016. Okay, I have not drawn my timeline beyond this. In 2016, our Swayam MOOCs came. Okay, in 2016, our Swayam MOOCs came. Before that, it was there from 2012 was called as a year of MOOC, and 2013 was called as attacks of MOOC, and 2000 creative destruction, like many companies, corporates, everybody started giving them MOOCs, special MOOCs, tiny MOOCs, and all type of things. And that is a time OER also, because all this content which was available on MOOCs are all OER, that is open education resources. See, whatever you have it in Swayam MOOC, it is all coming under the license of open license called CC license, Creative Commons license. which is designated as an OER. So you can see that even in NPTEL or SWAYAM of UGC or NITT or everything is OER, and lot of things, because this OER can be used in flipped learning. I said e-learning, no? In e-learning means any type of learning, like electronic learning. So now we are all using this electronic gadgets to learn, right? Apart from the face-to-face, now everything, mostly it is all digitized, right? In that cases, even in our innovative teaching method, you could have heard about, or you could have, you are practicing this flipped classroom or blended method. All these things, you need a lot of education resources which you want to share with their students, okay? In that cases, this OER plays a vital role, right? Where you can really make use of all these already prepared material. Okay, why you want to start from the again? Already it is there. You have to check whether it suits our audience, whether it is applicable to my students, the curriculum, the syllabus, or whatever it is, or the what is it, the method, and a lot of things are available. You can just repurpose it according to your requirement, and then you can float it, right? So this is called the MOOCs timeline. And then we have seen this. So this is what I was asking. What happens when you create and share something on internet? Okay, was there any answer for my question? I can go to the chat and see. Was there any answer? Okay, see, your work is automatically protected under copyright. Okay, your work is automatically protected under copyright. So what you have to do is, see, what will you do? Like when you create something and you share it on the internet, it is automatically protected under copyright. Okay, the creator owns the right for it. But what happens is, when you share it on the internet, anybody can download it, isn't it? I can download, you can download, and you can do, you're able to do it. Or are we permitted to download, use it, repurpose it? Can you tell me that one? Okay, are you able to? Can you do that? Can you repurpose, or can you do something on it? Or do you have the rights to do it? Do you have the rights to do it? So Prem Kumar sir, like somebody.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Dr. Saravanan, somebody can answer this one, okay? So, see, I am creating something, I'm uploading on the internet. Okay, internet enables me to download it, I can save it. We do it, right? We generally do it, right? So do you have the rights to do it? That is what is my question. Do you have the rights to do it? You have to say yes or no. Nothing wrong, nothing right. So you can just. Yes, can you download it and use it according to our wishes? Velavan? Yes. Ramu, Arun Kumar. Why so silent this time? Okay. Can I proceed? So if you're not going to give, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What is it? Yes, ma'am is what?
Yeah, sorry.
What?
No, ma'am. Say, anyone kindly answer this question, please. Kindly.
See, if you know means no, no, there is no fun in me wasting your time. No, if you do not know means only we can learn or we can discuss, or if you have any queries, we can ask me. If you already know all these things, there's no fun in discussing this one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Fine. Huh? Okay, so my question was very simple, straightforward. We are downloading and using it in our things. Let us say I want to create. Let us say I want to put a small, cute dog picture. I download it from my Google image and I put it. So am I permitted to do it? Right? So we all do it, no? Like we in our teaching learning process. If I want to prepare a slide, then I put a lot of pictures from the Google images or somewhere I find it, and then I put it in my presentation and I do it. Yes, we do it. Yes, you permitted. And let us say you're going to write an article, you want to have some good pictures, then can you can you do that, right? Yes. No is the answer. Okay. Yes, you are subject to copyright. See, that is what we are doing without knowing. And particularly, let us say, if it is within your classroom, no problem. And if you are going to put it again, you are going to upload it on the internet. Okay, saying that it is your work, or saying that it is belonging to the institute work or whatever it is, then the copyright issues comes. Okay. If it is within you and your students, no problem. But even then also you have to, it is ethically, you have to do that. See, what I will just demonstrate how a simple thing, because most of you had said, no, you could have said, yes, based upon the copyright, okay, or based upon the license, you can do it. See, for example, I will just tell you where I'll escape. Okay, I'll just I'm sharing my thing. So if I go to Google, okay, let us say tomorrow I have a class on blockchain technology. Okay, I have a blockchain technology. Okay, blockchain. I want to prepare a material on blockchain. Okay, I have done some slides and I want some good images to be there. I go to this images. You're able to see my screen, okay? I go to this images. Let us say I'm just creating, okay, very good, nice. This is very nice, no? So here, if you see that, images may be subject to copyright. If you just learn more, you can see that what is copyright, what is, can Google determine the copyright ownership? No, Google isn't able to mediate rights ownership dispute. If somebody gives, I can say that, okay, I found it in Google, it was freely available, I'm using it. Google, and sometimes you get some notice from your publisher or somebody, then Google will not come and rescue. It is already says that I don't have all those things. It is subject to your thing. We remove the content as law requires. When we receive a valid counter notification, we forward it to the person who requested the removal. If there's still a dispute, it is up to the parties involved to resolve the issue in the court. Okay, is it possible to use a copyright protected work without infringing? Yes, provided in some circumstance. Yes, I said, just don't say yes. In some circumstance, it is possible to use a copyright protected work without infringing the owner's copyright. That is, you might wish to learn about the fair use. It is important to note that your content may be removed in response to the claim of copyright infringement. Given credit to the copyright owner, refined from monetizing the infringed content and all those things. Okay, some content creators choose to make their work available for reuse with certain requirement. For more you have to learn about the Creative Commons license. It says you have to learn about the Creative Commons license. If you know about the Creative Commons license, then definitely you will be knowing the answer. Okay. So going back here. So always go to this tools, usage rights. See, if you are writing an article or if you are having a blog or you want to put it in your institute website, anything, you want to have a good image, no? Every time we cannot sit and create all the time all the images of our own. Sometimes we don't find time to do it. In that cases, if you have, you can create it. Okay. In that cases, if you find something good and you want to use it in your website or in your institute website or in your blog or something like that, in your article, even a material. Okay, go for this. Create. See, go to Google. I'm talking about images here. Likewise, it can be anything. It can be YouTube, sorry, videos. It can be text material. It can be an activity. It can be a course itself. Okay. So go to tools, go to usage rights, use this Creative Commons license. When you click Creative Commons license, you are getting so many other images. You can use these images. Even these images are very nice, no? So all these images are free to use it. Okay, we can freely use it. No need to be frightened by the copyright issues. Legally, rightly, I can use it, all these images. Okay, let us say this image, I want to use it. Okay, so go see what is it. See, it is not saying subject to copyright. It is saying go see the license details, or either you can click here or you can click the source also. See here, Pixabay is a place. This person has given this image and he says that free for commercial use, no attribution required, free download. Okay, you can freely download this material. Okay, in this case, you can likewise you can do it, right? So this is one thing. Likewise, one second. Maybe you're going to use this one. See here, Wikipedia Commons. Go here and see it is download all size. Okay, you can download it. See, the license is given. It is, you're free to share, you're free to remix, but attribution has to be given. If you do any alteration, remix or transform, then you also share it alike. Okay, so this is by attribution, that is CC, some right reserved. Okay, copyright means, if you see C, that is all rights reserved. If it is in public domain, no rights reserved. Okay, like that you can have, so you should know what is that. Okay, coming back to our presentation. So now we'll see what is it. Okay. See, this is alternative to the somebody is there. Okay, fine. Alternative copyright license. What is it? Right. Okay, so you know this one, right? One second, I'll just mark. You know what is copyright? That means all rights reserved. Okay. The second, the extreme is the copyleft, or I can say public domain, or I can say like the zero cross. That means it is public domain or no rights reserved. Okay. So these are the two extreme, all rights reserved, no rights reserved. If you see anything in public domain, you can use it. You can even you can need not give any attribution. You can do whatever you want. Okay, fine. So that has to be given as a okay. You are free to use it like that. The other one, that is in between these two, you have something called the open license. Here we have the Creative Commons license is the open license. Okay, CC license we call it. What is it? So you should know these four symbols. What does it stand for? So CC means whenever you see the symbol CC, that means it is an open license. Okay, open license. Fine. Okay, I'm fine. So this one, there are four symbols. The symbols are by. Maybe I do not know you're able to understand this one while it's scribbled. Fine. This is a by. By is a symbol here. This is called attribution. Attribution. That means you have to give credit to the user, give credit to the owner. Okay, attribute, right? And second is the non-commercial. If you see this symbol, you cannot use it for commercial purpose. If you don't see this symbol, then you can use it for commercial purpose also. Then what is no derivative? No derivative means this equal to symbol, no? You have to use as it is. You should not modify, you should not revise, you should not edit. And the next is a share alike. Share alike is even after I revise it, remix it, if you have see this symbol, I should also say, like let us say I am doing it, then I should also share with the same type of license. Okay, you have these 4 symbols along with CC. So CC BY means it's a free culture where when you see this CC BY, immediately you can understand, okay, I am free to use it, I am free to share it, I'm free to remix, redistribute it, right? All these things. So CC BY. Then CC share alike is you have to share it with the same license. Then if you do any remixing or transformation, then no derivative means I have to use as it is. I am free to use it, but I should not do any modification. Okay. Then if you see this symbol, it is for non-commercial. Likewise, see if you see the other way, this is least open, all rights reserved, this is most open. In between you have all these things. So these 3 things are almost free culture. That is, you can use it even for commercial purpose. You can remix, you can share it. And if you look into these 2 things, you can see, you can share it, you can remix it, but you cannot use it for commercial practice. This is most restrictive. This is most restrictive. That in the case, I have to share as it is, no derivatives at all. As it is, I have to share. Okay, so you have to understand. So what we have seen is just a recap of it. We have seen what is the education. OER can be anything. It can be a curriculum, it can be material or a mixed media. It is discoverable online and it is shared freely and openly. Usually open license is called the Creative Commons. So it can be legally used by anyone to repurpose, improve and redistribute. The next part we will see what are the OER repositories. Okay. See, okay. So what are the OER repository? Have you heard about MIT OCW? Okay, have you heard about MIT OCW? See here, I'll close these things. Okay. MIT OCW. See, I can just show it in the PowerPoint also, but if you want to know the latest, I can go here. So this is ocw.mit.edu. It's a wonderful site. You can learn anything from the top university in the world, right? Right from 2000, 2001 onwards. They put all their course material, all their courses online, and you can download it along with the syllabus, along with the video lectures, along with the assignments, activities, everything. Okay, and we can use it for our learning purpose, we can use it for our teaching purpose, research purpose, right? So they are the pioneer in OER. Okay, so see here, like OCW Open Courseware makes the material used in teaching available on the web. So you can go find courses, find the topic, new courses. So for, let us say, okay, my interest. So, okay. See, all these courses are available. Fine. machine learning for healthcare, like this. Let us say for here, just go here, view the course. It was offered in 2009. Course syllabus will be available. Okay, the syllabus is available. Calendar is available. Okay, what is the calendar? What are the questions? Everything is available. Readings, the reading material. Okay, so what are the references? What are the reading materials? Okay, and download the course material. See here, wonderful. So you can, this package contains the same content as an online version of the course, except the audio video material. This can be downloaded from Internet Archive or viewed on YouTube. Okay, so some courses, see, it depends upon the owner, right? So most here, the material is downloaded, except the videos and other things, you can view it on the YouTube. Okay, just with this 80.30 MB. Right, like that, they give the facility for us to download, learn for educators. See, there is a Chalk Radio podcast, okay, where the teacher, that is the professors of MIT, they give a radio talk, that is, you can listen to them. Okay, so you can see here.
Why would MIT students bring their toenail clippings to class? How do 100 people learn to fly airplanes in 3 days? Could a film experience really be more important than understanding quantum physics? I'm Sarah Hansen from MIT OpenCourseware, and this is Chalk Radio, a podcast about inspired teaching at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. In this show, we'll take you behind the scenes of some of the most interesting courses happening here on campus. Each episode, we talk with the professors who make those courses possible and delve into the passions that fuel their cutting-edge research and innovative teaching. Even the most innovative teaching often comes back to basics, which is why even here at MIT, where technological innovation sparks the utmost joy, we adore Chalk. The stories you'll hear are candid, funny, serious, and personal. The kind of conversations you'd have if you walked into your favorite professor in the infinite corridor and walked with them across campus. And that's why we're doing this. We want you to feel like you're here with us, that you're a part of the buzz that's generated at MIT, where people who are passionate about science, teaching, and learning get together to talk, dream, and invent. Welcome to Chalk Radio. It's the closest thing to being here.
Okay, just it is a trailer, okay? Just what they talk. So what happens is they, not only the courses, they also talk with the professors, teachers who are taking the courses, handling the courses. They share their how it is possible, what is the interesting thing, and everything is available as a podcast. You can listen to it, right? So you can get some ideas as a teachers how they are passionate. The same in similar way, or even you can improve upon it according to this. So they share this one. It is a podcast inspired by teaching at MIT. Okay, so a lot of interesting courses on campus. They talk with the professors who make those courses possible. All right, so you can have the cutting edge research and innovative teaching method, sharing stories. All this is possible. Okay, so hosted, right, fine. Now, so this is one of the very rich resources. Why I'm saying this, a lot of things for educators. See, additional resources, you can learn many things from this thing. You know, they are the top university in the world. Okay, so we can learn from them, or we can get inspired from them, right? So this is what. And the next one is a Khan Academy. So like a lot of resources are there. So I think you could have visited this Khan Academy. So Khan Academy is there here also. It is under the open education resources, why Khan Academy works. And if you see that, the personalized learning, that is student practice at their own pace, first filling in gaps in their understanding and then accelerating their learning. Then trusted content. See, instead of going and searching the content somewhere on the net, you can go to this type of repositories. Go to MIT OCW, go to NPTEL, go to SWAYAM, go to Khan Academy, like this. any national repositories or any repositories funded by these universities and academics, you will have the trusted content, and you will never have any other advertisements and other things. Okay, and moreover, you can easily embed these things in your LMS. So if you are using Google Classroom, or if you are using Canvas or Moodle, any LMS, you can easily integrate with your LMS. You can share all the resources with in your LMS. So it becomes a supplementary material for your teaching learning, right? So see here, like teachers start here, you can learn anything, and you can search the courses here. Okay, you can see computer programming is there. Okay, introduction to JS, introduction to HTML, making web pages. So all these things. So see, there are small videos. Okay, so what is a welcome to web? What is it? Right, so 2 minutes, 48 seconds. And what if you see this, you can always, when you log in and sign up, you can just share it with your Google Classroom. Okay, that is possible. So that you can really, 1 second. So you can log in, you can sign up, you can log in, and then you can just make all your Google Classroom people work on this. Okay, you can utilize this one. So this is regarding the Google Classroom. You can learn anything from here. Okay, and you can embed in your things. Fine. And the next is, what is it? Merlot. Merlot is another one repository. Okay, merlot.org. Okay, so it is a wonderful repository where you can search for learning resources, so many registered members, member institution, and recent contributions. So many things are there. You can search, right? So you can search any type of material here. You can also create the content, and you can, how to create the content, you can watch this video tutorials. Okay, so lot of material. Just see that, right? Let us say, yeah, augmented reality. You want to know what is augmented reality? Search here. Okay, my spelling is wrong here. See here, like augmented reality, there are so many apps, so many things, and you are also getting the stars. What does it mean is somebody is giving the rating, no? And you can sort it about the relevance, overall rating, how old it is, you can create it, right? So these things, no? So let us say there are so many apps, PPTs available, many things, learning materials, what you want it. Or even if you want to know the material, you can see. So all these things, animation is there, assignment is there, case studies, collection, development tool, drill and practice. So what type of learning material, even if you want a simulation, you can say, okay, I want a simulations, then it is going here, right? Simulation, go to the material. If you go to the material, so it is a material. Okay, so you see, you can use, you can also check with other people how they are how they has great apps, how to use this app. Okay, enough tutorials for all those things. So if you find these type of things in your what is it, according to your requirement, you can, what you can do is you can use it in your teaching learning process. It's a wonderful Merlot, that is multimedia education resources. Okay, learning object repositories. Okay, this is what I can say. Okay, online and supported materials, content creation tools led by international community of educators, learners, and research. You can sign up, you can get material, you can get open books. Okay, you can put, you can get a lot of collection on open books, and then OpenStax is there. So here you can have this open books. Okay, a lot of open books are available. Find your subject, tell your subject what subject you wanted, and all the books will be available which are free. You can download it. Okay, and you can use it. Like high school or college, whatever you wanted subject, what you want to do, all these things. So it is coming under the RISE University. You will never have any problem in using these things, and you can integrate it in your LMS also and use it. You can also give a link to the books available there, right? Okay, likewise, if I go to this PPT, see, I talked about this MIT Open University is there, okay? And this network science is a copyright, like Khan Academy. Then YouTube also has two types of license. One is a YouTube license and the Creative Commons license. Whenever you wanted an open license YouTube, you go to the filter, go filter it as an CC license. Then you can get the YouTube which is having the open license, okay? And then Wikipedia, the wonderful thing where you have the license CC by SA, you have wonderful, see, you know what Wikipedia does, Wikimedia, a lot of wikis, no? Wikibooks, everything is there, which is all open resources, which you can use it in your teaching, learning, and research purpose, okay? But Britannica Encyclopedia is a closed one, or I can say it is a copyright. You cannot share it. But whereas a Wikipedia, you can share it. See, there are so many case studies where people, without knowing, they download some book and share it in their internet or in their website for their students. But the publisher may file a suit against you. A court case may come, or you may be going for a jail or whatever it is. So whenever you are sharing it, see to that it is open resources and you can legally, rightly share it with all your students, with all your, not only your students, to the whole world, if it is having the CC license. Okay, even if you are creating any blog or website, just you should be very careful with the license things. Okay, so the best thing is go to OER Commons. This is the first good starting point where to find OER education, that is open education resources. So what I will do is I'll go here, just put OER Commons. And see here what you are looking for. You can discover resources, you can go for collections, you can see what are the who are the providers. So many people all around the world, they are providing. So you can just click on anything. Okay, Carnegie Mellon University or California Social Work, or according to your discipline and interest, you can choose whatever you wanted. Okay, like starting from Harvard University graduate studies. Okay, like that you can just see. And then if you want some simulations, very good simulations, you can go for PHET, University of Cordova. Okay. Find so many universities are there. You can just check it up. Okay, let's see here. So it will be like this: accessing general education curriculum, inclusion considering for disabilities. Whatever they are sharing with open resources in their institute, it will be available. Okay, so you can share it by subject area, then education level, what type of material you wanted, all those things you can do it, right? So discover resources. See, if you want some simulation or activities, you can go here, click on this. There are so many, 11,300 activities. So simulations and all, it is very challenging during this online teaching, no? So you could have, or you can see the symbols are here. According to that, you can use it. So, and the stars are there, how good it is, because anyone can upload it here, but you have to give the credits, which university you belong to, who's a provider and all those things. Okay. So people also will look into it and evaluate, okay, whether this thing is very good or not. So that is also now coming up. Previous 2 years, they were also evaluating what 10 things can you do with ArcGIS Online and Story Maps. Like that, so many things. According, I generally put simulation. Okay, so whether you want it in physics, chemistry, or like that, you can put it. Okay, like physics or chemistry or whatever it is. See, these are the very good things. Okay, like this is by Boston University, this is by American Society of University Reading. So all these universities give, it will not, it will be authentic, and you will not get some rubbish, right? And because their credit will go, no? And this is what I would like to say. Instead of getting somewhere, you can go and search, see CC BY. You can use it. You can modify according to your requirement and all those things. Unrestricted usage, you can use it. Learning resources, all these things. So the wonderful site is there. There is OER comments. Okay, even if you want to, let us say, go to them. Okay. You can also use, you can also create your OER with OpenAuthor. Here itself, you can get started authoring it, getting from different sources and putting your own content and then uploading it. Here you can also, what is it, sign in, and you can create hubs. You can create groups for your institute. For SIRAM, you can create a group and all the teachers can put it here if it is not like that, right? So that is possible. So we have, so when I log in, it will show the SWAYAM OER group, because I offer a course on SWAYAM on OER for empowering teachers. Now I slightly modified and then said OER and open educational practices. Okay, it is still available online. If you go to SWAYAM under NIT DTR, you can find out OER, fine. So you can enroll. So we also work on it. A group has been formed. Okay, when I log in. So if you see the group, see this is OER Common Starter SWAYAM OER for empowering teachers. We have created a group, and then so many members are there, so many affiliated resources are there, but we have not yet evaluated. But these things may or may not be like after evaluation, like it is open, no, it is an open platform. So anybody can use it. So this is all by our Indian people who took course under this OER, right? So they have created this one, OER for open for empowering this one, right? And then like that, you can create your groups, own groups. You can have so many other groups also. This is my own groups. Okay. So this is, you can add OER, you can download OER, you can do whatever you want. Fine. That's a good step to do it. First step to do it. Right? And then coming back to it, and how, when you want to attribute, you can use this attribution. Okay, so Creative Commons dot creativecommons.org. Okay, so this is the site which talks about Creative Commons. Okay. Fine. And this is a place, okay, it is one of the several public copyright license, okay, that enables free distribution. You can choose your licenses. You can and it will create a HTML code. Depending upon the code, you can If you want, you can paste it on your website. Okay, there also you can do it. See, when you see any let us say, for example, MIT or Merlot or whatever it is, you can see that it is MIT OCW. The beginning I showed. No, see, the license will be there in on the top bottom of the page. Okay, sometimes you will see the copyright. This means it's an open license. Same way, if you go for NPTEL also, NPTEL. Okay, NPTEL online courses. Underneath, you can see the CC by NCSA. That is, you can use it, freely use it, download it, share it. You can remix, revise, whatever you want it, but give credit. Don't use it for commercial purpose. You can use it for non-commercial purpose. And you have to share. If you are going to modify it, you should also share it with others with the same type of license. Okay, so this is what. So likewise, you know what it is. If you go to any repository, you can find out the license, and accordingly you can easily and without fear you can start using it in our teaching learning process. Okay, so here if you want to share your work, you can go choose, because just click of the mouse you can choose whatever license you want it, and according to that, okay, according to that the license will be created and you paste it. See, it is yes, free culture. No, that means if I say only yes means that is public domain, free culture. So yes, I want to share it. And I can also give attribute here. No, I can give a title of the work. Okay, so let us say graphics, one, and who has done the graphics? Mallika, let us say. Okay, immediately if you see here, graphics by Mallika is licensed under this. So what you have to do is copy this code, paste it in your website or in your blog or wherever you want it. If you're having that HTML code, immediately that license will be pasted on your website or web page or whatever it is. Otherwise, what you can do is you can just copy this alone. Sorry, copy this alone and paste it on the material, as I have done it on the my presentation slides. If you see, I have put it like this. Okay, OER presentation by this license under. That means this is free. If I want to upload it on the slide share or other things, I can do this and then upload it. Another one is whenever you're uploading any material on the repositories like Flickr, YouTube, there also it will ask you what type of license you want. There you can clearly specify whether it is copyright or Creative Commons or public domain. So in that cases, you can create your license for your thing. Okay. So with this, I will complete my presentation. If you have any questions, I am ready to answer the questions, because a lot of repositories are there. Okay. A lot of work can be done. Even you can go to this site, no, like let us say our Indian site, sakshat.ac.in. It is One India, One Digital. What is it? Okay, my spelling. Okay, this is One India, One Digital platform. Okay, right, everything is available. All these are OER material. Okay, you can do it. And even you have this NR OER, it is done till school education. Next is for the college education. The National Resources is working on it. So all these things from one digital platform, you could have seen so many digital initiatives by Government of India, right? For undergraduate, for postgraduate, for other learning. From here, you can go to anything. Like if you want to learn robotics, you can go learn robotics. It is free. Okay. All these things are there. Fine, you can get a lot of information. And this is one site where you can get a lot of information regarding the digital initiatives. See, all these things will come. it keeps floating. Latest news, enrollment open for IIM in engineering courses on SWAYAM, courses starting, all these things are there. Okay, right. Fine. Now I'll stop sharing my. Okay. So if you have any doubts or any clarification, you can ask me. Okay, Arula Rasa Shivalingam, thank you for your brief details. Oh, okay, right. See, the lot of resources are available. So you can choose, you can search for the resources. So you can choose as OER resources. So for that, you can go for OER Commons or Merlot or whatever it is. If you go to OER, you get many things. So from that, our own materials, you can, our own means our own interest, you can search, and then that can be used for our learning and for our teaching and for our research. Okay. And you can also produce your own material and you can upload it. If you want to share it, you can share it with the copyright or without copyright or with the Creative Commons. It is left to you, because we are, when you create it, you become the owner. Automatically it is protected under copyright. So you can do it. Or if somebody is sponsoring, then according to the sponsor, you have to give the things. Okay. So when you create a SWAYAM courses, there you are paid for it. You create it and it becomes a public property or the open license property. So anybody can access it. Okay. For creation, you're paid for it, right? Like that. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your compliments.
Thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We got a very good experience, the knowledge from the various aspect of applications and resources. And we are really very much thankful for coming and gracing this particular occasion. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
With your permission, I am leaving.
Yes, ma'am.
There
Thank you,
is no
ma'am.
more questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Christina.
Yes.